From your ear to your heart, to your mouth to your feet, join this life on 657 AM.
This is Heart to Heart with me, Bonolo Nkosi. Good to have you with us. Thank you so much for giving us your time. We know you could have been in a lot of different places, but you are here. We're talking important facts to know about money. We should have Sisiphume. I think this is a better line than before. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Bonolo. This is much better.
Thank you. Excellent. Thank you so much for giving us your time, Sisiphume. Are you well?
I'm good, thanks, Bonolo, and you?
Alrighty. So I'm looking forward to a chat because, as usual, these are very empowering, and I always walk away having learned a thing or two, or sometimes five, after a conversation. But what are some of the most important facts that every woman should know about money? Because we know I was reading a book not too long ago. Oh, now the name escapes me, but it was regarding women and money. And they said in the stats that generally speaking, women are very timid when it comes to managing their finances. Even the most successful of women were we're almost intimidated by it, even though it's also been proven that women live longer than men. And generally women get paid less than men, even for doing the same jobs. And so if we don't get a handle on it, we could end up with some problems in the long run. So what are some of those important facts that every woman should know?
Bonolo, I have written a newsletter where I have outlined about 20 of those facts.
Sure.
But in the interest of time, I will just try and tease out what I believe, are most critical to know. And I'm very happy with the introduction because I tend to deal a lot with professional women. And I'm amazed at how little they know about money. So it goes to what you're saying, that we seem to be very timid in just even trying to understand money. And I'm very insistent that I'm not just going to do things for you, but I want you to understand what I'm doing for you so that you can impart this knowledge to your children, to your loved ones, so that we educate each other. With that in mind, I want to start with one of the key things which I find women do when they buy property. They take what is called a bond protection policy. And I often pick this up very early, in our relationship when they come to our office to assist us to help them with their financial planning. I pick up this bond protection policy and I then ask them, are you aware that 20 years down the line, when you have finished paying for your home loan, all this money that you're paying monthly towards this bond protection policy will fall away? And 99% of the time they don't know because they never ask any questions. They just sign for these things. And for me, as you know, women earn on average 25% less than men. So that says to me we have to be extra careful and empower ourselves with knowledge. We cannot afford to have insurances and other stuff that is not in our best interest. So that is just one of the key things that I want women to understand, especially because if you have life cover, you honestly don't need to be taking any bond protection policy when you buy a home. You're basically covering yourself twice and wasting your money in the process. And again, one of the things that I find women do, and also men, this is really lack of, understanding. When they finish paying off their home loans, they then, close their home loan account and take their title deed. Then you find a few months down the line, they need money. They go and apply for the most expensive loan, which in most instances is a personal loan. So I want women to know that if you've paid off your home loan, at the time you paid off, you inform your bank, and preferably you do it in writing, and you tell them just before you paid off to say, I am going to be paying my last installment on this day, and when I have paid it off, please do not close my account. Do not give me my title deed. Keep my account for the home loan open. This is so that should you ever need money in the future, whatever it is for, it could be sending your children to varsity as an example, or you could be experiencing an emergency and you need money. then you can tap into that home loan which you have paid off and be able to borrow money from your home loan at, of course, the cheapest rate of interest.
Mm-hmm.
The only time that you need to make sure that you pay off your home loan and close the account and take the title deed is when you are going on pension, but not prior to that. You're not doing yourself any favor.
That's interesting.
Yeah. The other thing, Bonolo, is in South Africa generally, we are not good with saving for retirement. Our statistics inform us that only 6% of South Africans can afford to retire financially comfortable.
Sure.
And of that 6%, only 1% are women.
Did you say 6%?
Only 6%. Yes. Yes, it's scary. And even in that 6%, only 1% are women. So it means that, women are going to go on pension, and most of them could have led financially comfortable lives while they were working during their working life. But when they go on pension, they are going to suffer because they just did not save enough. And I find it's because as women, we tend to worry more about our children, about our homes, about our siblings, and everything else except ourselves. We often wake up much late in our 50s and sometimes in our 60s, and we realize we don't have enough money to go on pension, and we panic.
Sure.
So I'm here to say to women, try. For me, I always say it is better to start small, and then you capture that compound growth effect on your retirement savings than to start too late. Because when you start too late, you're not giving yourself and your money enough time to grow. So that is one of the key things that I want women to know about. The other facts, they can perhaps visit our blog and read about the other facts.
I wanted to ask you how much time you have left as I try to gauge where I should go. But you know what I am thinking, though, is that I feel like maybe it may be worth it to make this a 2-part and continue the conversation next week.
We could do that.
Yeah,
because, we're still in Women's Month.
Yeah, we're still in Women's Month. Yeah, so maybe that's what we should do. There is one thing that I wondered about from your list, if you don't mind touching on it, is that one of the things that you mentioned there is using debt to your advantage. Can you explain that a bit more?
Okay. When people speak about debt, we often speak about debt in negative terms.
Yes.
And again, I see this with women who are professionals, doctors, lawyers, because they, generally speaking, earn a lot more than most of us. And on the other end, they don't have much knowledge about money.
Yes.
One of the first things that they hurry to do is to pay off their home loans. And I'm often standing there and saying, forget about that loan. It's so cheap. Don't waste time and your money on that loan. If there's any loan that you need to be worried about, is perhaps, your credit card debt, your personal loans, your car finance, and so forth. So how do we use debt to our advantage? One, we need to understand interest rates, how they work, which loans are the cheapest and which loans are the most expensive. And also know that with your home loan, especially if you earn above a certain, level of income, and if you are in secure, employment, there is absolutely no reason for you to be having to pay off low interest debt. If anything, you should be making sure that you have as much of that low interest debt as possible and use that debt to then buy maybe a second investment property, refinance, and do other stuff with it. One of the things that I normally do, based on the fact that by the time women come to see me to assist them with retirement planning, they are already in their 40s, in their 50s, and sometimes in their 60s. At that point, I have no option but to then look at what assets they have. And most of the time, they do have a home loan, cheapest form of debt. And then I refinance it to try and make sure that we have money secured now for their pension. So that is one of the ways of using debt to your advantage. You can also use debt in a form of a home loan to buy a car, especially if it's a car that could assist you to generate income for yourself.
Yeah.
I am yet to understand why people are taking vehicle finance, which costs them much more than home loan. The home loan, it is pure lack of understanding.
Sure.
So, and you can also use that home to educate your children and send your children to varsity.
Wow.
Some people panic; they don't have money to send their kids to varsity, and I look at their assets and I say, why are you panicking needlessly? Here is money right here. You have a home that you bought 15 years ago or whenever you bought it. Just because you don't have an education policy or some other form of savings to send your child to varsity doesn't mean you don't have the money. It is sitting right here in your home loan. So these are some of the ways that I wish more women will understand that home loan is not just a roof over your head. You can use it to your advantage.
All right. So I'm glad you mentioned the education policy but I think we'll definitely deal with it next week. I already have someone asking for your contact details here on our WhatsApp line, which we will do shortly. But I know that you're going to have a Zoom session, just explaining some of these principles and going through your book as well. Can you give us some details so that for those listeners who may be interested and want more information and want to join that session can then do so?
Okay. I'm going to give out the Zoom key, and the Zoom key this is taking place maybe on Thursday next week,
okay,
the 20th of August at 6 in the afternoon, in the evening. And the Zoom key is 392 561 8328.
Can you repeat it one more time, please?
392 561 8328.
Okay, great. And obviously, all people need is to obviously have the Zoom app downloaded, so that then they're able to access
to log on
by using this key. All right. Okay, fantastic. Then that way, a lot more people can. Do they have to have a copy of the book in order for them to Zoom in?
That would assist them to understand what we are talking about and to be able to follow.
Okay, in that case,
and even ask questions.
All right.
The Zoom session is really to assist people who have bought the book and they have read the book, but they still have questions. In as much as I tried the best I could in writing the book to make it as simple as possible, I also do understand that for some people who are not in finance or accounting, some of the principles might still be not clear to them. So this session is really to assist people. It's an opportunity to ask questions that are based on what's in the book so that, people make the most of their money, because that is the whole reason for the book. It's to assist all of us to make the most of our money.
Oh, no, absolutely. All righty. Fantastic. Sis Phumelele, thank you so much. I know that you have to dash off today. You've got a conference session happening. I will hand out these details as well as the Zoom key one more time. And for those who need them, then they will be in touch. Much appreciated as always.
Thank you so much, Bonolo.
All righty. Cheerio.
Keep well.
That was financial advisor, the Phumelele Nduma of Tutuka-SA. If you want to get in touch with them, their landline 011 568 2635. The WhatsApp line is 064 513 1021. You can drop them an email on info@tutuka-sa.co.za or www.tutuka-sa.co.za, and they're on Facebook as well on Tutuka-SA. So as you heard, she's going to be having a Zoom session next week, Thursday. So if you have any finance-related question and you're interested in perhaps getting a copy of the book prior, do get in touch with her. But that Zoom key, if you want to join the session, 392 561 8328, and that will be next week Thursday at 6 p.m. But we will have her back here on the program next week Wednesday as we continue our conversation on 20 important facts about money that ladies need to know.
Come live the life at 657 AM. 657 AM.